Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've all gone through it, okay? The shard weekend's coming up. By the time this video goes out, you would have already pulled your void shards. I've got 8 here on the free to play. This video is for those people, which is the majority, that didn't get the top 10 legendary or maybe the best epic in the game. And it's the people that got all of the Sea of Blue. Yeah, there's still, what, 90 odd % chance that you're going to get rares. So these are going to be the only void rares that I would level up. Okay, the only ones that I would take to max. Some of them, look, and I do it on the free to play, some of them I might just level to 30 or 40, punch them into the faction war team short term whilst I'm waiting for better stuff to turn up. So first one on the list is Dagger. Dagger is actually pretty solid, especially for this faction, for faction wars, if you don't have Stag Knight. So she's got an AoE drop defense, which books up to 75% chance to land. It's big version drop defense, which is really unusual to get on a rare. She's also got a little bit of a turn meter a decrease on her A1. It's very minor, to be honest, but it's there. And she's got an AoE drop attack on her A3, which again is 75% chance if it's booked. Good speed, good attack, and she actually hits kind of hard, but she's a bit squishy. But for this faction in particular, for faction wars, Dagger is good. And if you're struggling for a decreased defense champion that can get you through certain affinities, because perhaps your one is, I don't know, magic, and you're trying to get through the weak affinity for magic, then Dagger can come in as an all affinity champion with drop defense and drop attack. So she's the first on the list. In High Elves, really, the only one to call out is Reliquary Tender. You don't really need her to be maxed, but if you're looking for a void rare to max out, she is solid, fast, quite easy to keep alive, and she brings a resurrect. So she revives someone with a third of their turn meter in health, 5-turn cooldown if you book it. She's also got a full cleanse and continuous heals. So a lot of the Doom Tower bosses now were needing cleanses to get rid of those debuffs. She actually comes in clutch on a 3-turn cooldown for this A2 and does a lot of work. So Reliquary Tender in the mix. Sacred Order. They've actually got a lot of rares, the Sacred Order. But honestly, Confessor, she confesses to nothing. She's useless. Justiciar, useless. Harrier, pretty good singer. Pretty good singer. And Draconis is the only one out of this lot that I would say, yeah, go for it. Draconis has got, again, good base stats, easy to keep alive. Got a little heal going on his A1. He's got shields on his A2, which can be a 3-turn cooldown, which is nice. And he's got a cleanse and heal on his A3. He's just in there really to keep the team moving, keep the team alive. Good for faction wars, but also can kind of come in and just be solid anywhere in the game as a support unit. Barbs. We have got no one that I would max out. Skirmisher, Ox, Skirmisher and Ox both hit reasonably hard, but they don't do much. Ragemonger's got like a very early game kit. I would never take him past 50. And Scrapper loves the song. He loves a ballad. He loves a ballad. He loves the key change. He steps right up to that. Otherwise, though, pretty useless. Ogryn Tribes then. So Ogryn Tribes, Stone Skin, no good. Bellower is solid. Bellower is the next one that I'd be like, yes. Once you've got Bellower, if you get him early, he can carry you through all sorts. In the late game, throw him in a stun set and he still helps you through tough content. He's got AoEs everywhere. He's got debuffs, albeit small versions, everywhere. And he's also got probably one of the best A1s going. A chance to put block active skills on an AoE A1. Basically, you've got 1 in 3 chance, if you book it, of locking everybody or locking your enemies out to just be able to use it A1. Actually a really, really solid skill for an A1. People overlook this on Bellower. It's really good. He's got speed and faction crypts as well. Good base stats. He hits pretty hard. He can be your campaign farmer. He can be your support unit. He can be a nuke. Whatever you want. Good champion. Gear Grinder is actually a really good champion for faction wars for this faction. He's got a revive. He's got heals. He's got continuous heal. And imagine actually, because he doesn't buff or debuff, he's probably pretty solid for Bommel as well as your healer. 3-turn cooldown on a heals all allies by 15%. 5-turn cooldown on a revive with turn meter. So And just with like the little continuous heals coming out, which you control, so you could take the crit out of his build. Feels like he would be pretty solid for that. But for Faction Wars, you can run him at 50 and he's okay. So you don't necessarily need to max him out, but he is solid. My Collis is also actually pretty damn good. Fairly new to the game. He's got a bit of a heal down on here. Shield and ally protection. It's the weak version of ally protection, but if you don't have one, still good for clan boss. 3-turn cooldown. And he's also got this kind of damage reduction passive. Good. Base defense and HP. A bit slow, but he's not bad. You could take him to 60 and run him in clan boss. He's not the best, but he's also not bad. The lizards, Haruspecs, actually kind of good. Like, again, mainly for Faction Wars, not that great outside of Faction Wars. Very early game arena. He could come in as your speed lead with a speed boost. But for late game, he still was running in my Faction War 21 team when I beat Faction War Lizardmen 21 for the first time. Bit of poison, got the revive, got a turn meter fill, which this faction lacks. So he's pretty solid. Would I take him to 60? I'm not sure, to be honest. 50 is probably fine for what he does. The Skinwalkers, Bloodhorn, I wouldn't. Panthera, I wouldn't. Nothing there. Orcs, Veteran. If you're really struggling for a decreased attack champion for clan boss, Veteran can do the job. That's all he's good for. The other two, completely useless. I'm sure people will tell me otherwise, but I don't find a use for them. We've got the Demonspawn here. Ifrit, no. Marquis, no. Fellhound can be a campaign farmer. He can also help you a lot in Finite if you're struggling with Finite. He's got decreased speed AoE. He's got a heal and reflect damage. The reflect damage is the Finite part, so you get it on a 2-turn cooldown. Basically, just enables you to put reflect damage on, and every time the Finite slams you, it's like you're having 5 hits straight away. It just burns through that shield. He's also got this block damage buff on his A3, which will always go on the leader if you're playing on auto, which is okay. Defense-based champion, can hit kind of hard. And yeah, solid champion, worth building out. Malblanche, no. Undeads, what have we got? Arbalesta, hits hard. Like, hits really hard on this A3 if there's loads of debuffs out there. I wouldn't level her out. She's just a bit of a meme champ, but does hit hard. Doomscreech, yes. I actually did a video showing off Solus, which is probably going to play later today because of the way I'm going to order this out. But Doomscreech actually comes in as probably the best. Go second in your team champion, or go first, I guess, in your team champion if you're trying to build a defense-based nuker. Defense-based nukers like Solus, Drexar, Iron Brago, they need increased defense buff on them, and they obviously still need the turn meter boost. So it's like Arbiter, but a defense version. Yeah, and Doomscreech is basically the best in the game for that job. There's other ones like Sifi and Tarshon that do the job, but Doomscreech gives you a bigger turn meter fill, and he gives you the same level of buff. So that's his main job. He's also got decreased accuracy here and a shield here for himself and an AoE hit. But he's mainly there to boost the defense and speed of your defense-based champions to enable them to nuke. So he's actually really solid. Hollow, no. Seducer is a quality champion. He was actually one of the champs that got me through Faction War 21 on Undeads. Mainly because of this. Block debuffs for 2 turns and increased defense. Block debuff, such an important skill, especially when you're fighting bosses, especially when you're fighting Doom Tower or Faction War bosses. So don't sleep on this. 2-turn block debuff, it's pretty rare to get it. And I think he might be the only rare that puts it on for 2 turns. I'm sure there's others actually, maybe Marked does, but I think most of them do it for 1 turn if they're a rare. And even a lot of epics only put it on for 1 turn. So a 2-turn block debuff is actually really helpful. He's also got an AoE decreased attack. It's a small version. He's got an A1 sleep. It's like the Sifi Zapper, apart from he actually needs accuracy and it's not 100%. And then he gets better if Temptress is in the team, but Temptress is not up to much. Defense-based champion, got high base defense. Good champ. Yeah, Seducer is worth a look. Stitch Beast, no. Skeleton, no. Bloat Wraith, no. Let's move on to the Dark Elves. What have we got here? We've got the one and only. I don't need to talk about this girl anymore, do I? Cold Heart. She's the one everyone wants. Yeah, she's worth more than most epics, to be honest. And a lot of legendaries as well. She's got the cannon on the A3 with the turn meter reduction. Make sure you give her accuracy to make this land. Make sure you give her an HP chest. Yeah, and she only needs 70% crit rate because she gains another 30 here. And she is your nuke. You just want to build her with HP chest and then as much crit damage as you can put in once you've got that 70% crit rate. Get her speed up as well. Don't sleep on her speed. Otherwise, you'll be upset that she's not doing a lot. Paragon, he's there for Mr. Cheese. You definitely don't need him to be a 60. Yeah, if you do use him, you just use him as level 30 or 40. Get his 2 books into his A2, and then he's good to go. Retainer, no. Viscerator, no. Painkeeper, only really would I take her to 60 if I'm using her in an unkillable team alongside Maneater. If I'm just using her aside from that, then she's fine as a 50. But she's solid. She's a not bad champ. Harvester, no. Okay, Night Revs. Night Revs, we have got a few. Renegade. Again, kind of like Painkeeper in a way. She doesn't need to be a 60 to do what she does. She's all about reducing cooldowns with her A3. She could be a level 1 and do the same job she does at level 60. The only benefit you get from taking her to 60 is if you want War Master hits and you actually want her to stay alive. But often it's just, she does a reset, she can die, everyone else moves a bit quicker, and you get on with your day. You don't need books or anything like that in her. She's just solid. Daywalker is a single target nuker. If you're going to use him, he needs to be a 60, but honestly, he's a bit of a meme champ. Centurion, no. Ashwalker. Ashwalker kind of hits hard on his A3. Bit of a nuke. Would I build him to 60 just for this? I feel like your starter champion hits just as hard, like your KOs and stuff. The only benefit you get over a KO or something like that with Ashwalker is he is void, so he doesn't have a weak affinity. And he hits for a similar sort of level of damage on that A3 to one of your starters. Okay, onto the Dwarves then. What we got? Bulwark. If you're struggling in Clan Boss, Bulwark's a really good leader for Clan Boss. So he's got the right all battles aura. He's got an HP burn. He's got a weaken. And then he's got this ability that when he takes a hit, he can extend all debuffs on the Clan Boss, which is solid. It's only a 30% chance, but if you're against an affinity Clan Boss, like Spirit Affinity or whatever, on one of the AoE, he actually hits 4 times. So there's a really good chance for this to proc. So he's solid for Clan Boss. Outside of Clan Boss, not really used. Painsmith is an interesting one. There's someone, I think the YouTuber is called Ian Steaming, something like that. He loves a bit of Plat Arena and he loves taking rares in there. And Painsmith was the dude that he brought in. He's actually got some fun videos on this where he's using this A2 as an absolute cannon. It hits really hard, single target, and he blocks revive. So he's literally going up Duchess, block revive, dead, and he's just taking everyone out. Pretty fun, actually. Yeah, it just hits hard. It's a single target, hard-hitting void rare. The fact that he's got the block revive, though, makes him pretty viable. You need to take him to 60 if you're going to use that type of stuff. Dildor is good. Again, like probably worth a 60, actually, for this faction. You've got a decreased defense. You've got decreased accuracy, AoE, hits pretty hard. And you've got a decreased speed. So 3 good debuffs within his kit. Certainly good for faction wars for this faction. He had a lot of value, and then really they've released a lot of dwarves now. There's a lot more dwarves, which just makes him less required, but he's still solid for a rare. Kurzad, similar really. They've released more champions that do what he does. Or does what he do. Don't know. Losing my brain. He's got an increased accuracy at the same time as dropping enemy defense. So he pumps your accuracy up in the arena, drops the enemy's defense. It's easier for you to land any debuffs you want to land. And he also pumps his own accuracy up before he drops defense, so it's easier for him to do it. So he can be like a go second in your arena team type of champ. He can also come into Doom Tower and do the same job if you're struggling for accuracy. 3-turn cooldown on this. He takes a ton of books, though. I mean, it's a ton of books. He's got decreased speed as well. He's an okay champ. But I think there's a lot of people now that can kind of step in and do what he was doing. So then lastly, Shadowkin, Fanatic, comes at you. Good drop defense ability. I wouldn't take him to 60. So there you go. There's only probably a handful. But if you get one of them, at least you could be cheery that you didn't get that Void Legendary you wanted. At least you've got a rare that you can play around with. Anyway, guys, I've been Hell Hades. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you later.